Are we live? Are we there? Are we there? Looks like we're there. Check, 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 check. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I don't know. I hope it is. I'm your humble host, Richard James Regal. This is episode 1. Count them, 1. This is episode 1 of Regalwood Rasslin. We did episode 0 last week. Kind of a primer, if you will, to bring you into the world of what this is going to be and what it is and what it's going to be about. So here I am, your host, Richard James Regal. We are live right now on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and Kick. Can you believe that? We're on all of those platforms. And for what? I don't know. But here we are. YouTube is Wrestle Radio 860, WRESTLERADIO 860. Wrestle Radio 860 on YouTube. Twitch is Regalwood 6969. Rumble and Kick are Regalwood. If you see this guy here, see him up there, the big bulldog. If you see him, you're in the right spot. And you have found the right place to be. All right, so episode 1, what are we going to do today? We're going to go back, right? We got to go back before we can go forward. And because some of you may be as not familiar with me as some others, we're going to talk about what got us here, what brought us here, where we're going, and then we're going to have a guest who's going to tell us his opinion on everything. And believe me, he has opinions on everything. Little bit of I don't know. I don't really have a lot of wrestling news to cover because I'll be frank with you, I don't watch wrestling. Now, isn't that great to have a wrestling show and I don't watch it? Although, and let me caveat that by saying that I do get clips, I do see things, and I do always have my ubiquitous clandestine informants who keep me up to date on what's going on out there in the wrestling world. So from time to time, things will cross my feed or be brought to my attention that we will talk about and comment upon. The only thing I'm seeing lately that's getting any heat, of course, WrestleMania is coming up, whatever, and the AEW is getting a little bit of traction with this Ronda Rousey making her appearance the other night on that, and of course Ronda's promoting her big fight coming up with Gina Carano. Gina looks good, man. Hey, Gina doing the thing. I don't know. Gina's 43 or 44 now. I'm not sure how old Ronda is. But they're going to fight in June, I'm thinking, sometime along in there. So I guess it's a cross-promotional thing. AEW is trying to get a little heat off of that. She's trying to get a little heat off AEW because, of course, Ronda has moved on from WWE to AEW. And, of course, she's also moved on from UFC down to this new promotion that they're doing on Netflix, having that big fight on there. It's one of those Jake Paul promotions, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, it's funny to me, and I know, look, I know wrestling is all carnyisms, and maybe my guest can talk on this a little bit too when I get him on. But I know it's all carny, and I know it's all nonsense. But at the same time, I mean, Ronda did kind of all over wrestling when she left WWE, right? I mean, she kind of like had some strong opinions, which is fine. I mean, that's why I'm here, because I got opinions, right? But it's interesting that after her talks and her things that she had to say about wrestling, she's one of those fair weather friends, I guess, who when she needs the game's there to be there for her, and I always will, because she's always going to have name recognition. I don't know how much that'll carry if Gina beats the bricks off of her in this fight they got coming up. But I've been seeing some Ronda training videos, and Ronda's looking good, man. Of course, you know, it's training stuff. You're always going to look your best in training. But I don't know. I haven't seen any of Gina's training videos, so I don't know how she's coming along. But she looks good. Hey, I'm there for that. So I wanted to show you guys something. I did mention this on Facebook the other day. If you're not following the Inside Wrestling Radio page, go to the Inside Wrestling Radio page. You click off, there's links all over it from my Ricky Regal page on Facebook. Hit that like and subscribe on the Inside Wrestling Radio page, because that's where all the updates for this program will be hosted and posted. And I did post on there the other day, and I think I linked it over to the Ricky Regal page. But I used to do a thing called Regal's Reality, right? And those were old stories from back in the day when myself and Mickey Free broke into this wrestling thing, and I actually wrote some columns. And I will tell you, as a matter of fact, I thought those columns were long gone, because the site that was hosted went away, and so I figured they were just lost to the ages. Not that they were not yeah, I mean, we're not talking about, Plato and Socrates level writings here. It's just me remembering some old memories about stuff. But anyway, I actually was able to go back and was able to find some of those columns. I think I'll show you in a minute, actually. But I was able to find some of those columns, and one of them went back, they all went back to, like, it was kind of telling a story as we went forward in our careers and where we actually started and kind of where we ended up a little bit. And then it kind of petered out because the website went away, and that infamous Regal board went away. But I mentioned about the Regal's Realities, and I'll show you in a minute what's still out there that you can find. Now, they're not all there because the time capsule that holds those, it's called the Wayback Machine, and I'll show you how to get there if you're interested. But all of that stuff, it still exists. I think there's maybe 4 columns that I couldn't retrieve, but I retrieved like the first 6 or 7, and then there's a couple of more. There's a Metro story in there, that I think is my magnum opus. It's a story about where Mickey Free and I and Johnny Dolly, a bunch of us got into a van with, and I'm jumping way ahead here. This is not kind of how I wanted to do it, but I don't write into this stuff. It just kind of comes off, free flows out of my mind, and God knows that's who knows where what may come out of there. But anyway, we went to this place, and I'll just give you a quick story about it. We went to this place. We were told by Bobby Holbrooks, who was the promoter that we had moved on to from our original promoter. And Bobby put us all in a van and said, we're going to wrestle at the Metro in Atlanta. I'm a kid, man. I didn't know what the Metro was. I thought it was like a Metropolitan Coliseum or something, right? In my mind, because delusions of grandeur, right? 20 whatever, maybe not even 20 years, 21, 20 years, or whatever, however old we were. But Bobby Holbrook says, boys, we're going to wrestle in the Metro. And I'm thinking, holy crap, we made it. We all thought that, because we're from a little podunk town in South Carolina. We didn't know what the Metro in Atlanta was. And of course, there was no internet to speak of back then, so we couldn't go look it up, right? So we're thinking we're going to wrestle at the Metropolitan. I don't know what, in my mind, it was like wrestling at the Omni maybe or something like that. I don't know. Just, my kid brain thought we had hit the big time, boy. It was interesting that Bobby made us all ride together, though. That comes into play later in the story. But I'm not going to tell you the whole story and how it ended up, but I'll show you how to get to those articles, and I will talk about it as we move forward. And the Regal's Realities were stories of basically just my remembrances and my recollections of stories as I remember them going forward, and how we kind of got broke into the business and all that stuff. And the very first one I wrote was about when we met the very first guy that brought us into wrestling, a man named Jerry Hall. I don't know if any of you, I don't even know if my guests will remember him or not. I'll ask him. But Jerry Hall lived in a little small trailer down on a redneck part of the county that Mickey and I grew up in. And we had always heard stories. You know how you hear stories. We had always heard that there was a wrestling ring set up in somebody's yard. And I grew up a wrestling fan. I remember watching NWA and way back when I was just a little guy. So we grew up watching the NWA and all that stuff. But I'd always heard rumor that there was a wrestling ring set up in a little community in our county. So as we got a little older, we were out moving around, had our own cars and stuff. We said, let's go find it, right? What do we got to lose? Like a Saturday afternoon or whatever. So we ride down to this location, and by God, there it is. And if any of you remember Jerry's ring, it had these giant, and I swear I'm not making this up, the ring posts were as big around as a tree trunk. And I'm talking about an oak tree trunk. And heavy, they were red, man. I'll never forget those damn ring posts. They were heavy. And they looked like they'd been around for 100 years, maybe. And there it was, a ring in this guy's front yard, beside his trailer home, with the ropes and the whole nine. And so Mickey found a guy named Chris Weeks, and I don't remember what Chris used to wrestle as, and I haven't seen or heard his name in decades. But Mickey found a guy named Chris Weeks, and Chris was actually wrestling for Jerry. And so they talked and whatever, and so it ended up, Chris introduced us to Jerry. Now, I'm not still convinced I want to be a wrestler, right? I'm more the fun-loving guy, the women-chasing guy, right? I wasn't so much into I loved it, but I wasn't sure I wanted to do it, right? I'm like, I'm not a lover, I'm not a fighter, that type of thing, right? And back then, kayfabe was still a thing, bro. Kayfabe was alive. And so I didn't really think I wanted to go, I don't want to fight, I want to get hurt, I don't want to mess this up, whatever. Although, what more damage can you do, right? But, so anyway, we get down there, and we go a couple of times. Mickey he said, well, just come down there with me. So, of course, I drive him down there, and he gets in the ring. And first week, we go down there, him and Chris wrestle around a little bit, and Jerry sitting over there drinking his beers, and he just like she trained you from afar. But basically, Chris ran Mickey through some really, 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 dumbed down drills, because he didn't want to smarten us up. Like, again, kayfabe was still a thing, and he didn't want to smarten us up, to their credit, which I appreciate that now. Nowadays, of course, you'd be brung up on charges for not smartening somebody up the minute they walked out there. But anyway, so they, a couple of weeks went by, and they would do these little drills or whatever. And so one week, I think it's like maybe the second or third week we go down there. Mickey says, get in the ring. Nah, I'm not convinced. Hey, come on, get in the ring. I'm like, nah, I'm good. We'll get up on the apron. And me being an idiot, right? I'm like, okay, let me get up on the apron, not thinking anything was going to happen. And so I get up on the apron, and we're standing there talking, of course, and God love Mickey Free. Those of you who know him, the guy, he throws caution. His life is about throwing caution to the wind. It's just like, whatever happens, happen. I remember one time, and I'll get back to my story really quickly, but again, my brain jumps all over the place. We were going down the road one day in his car, and as we were going down the hill, it's one of those rainy, freaking snowy, icy days. We're going down this long hill, right, and we're just tootling down through there with no big deal, and he just reaches down, pulls the handbrakes, and spins us around about 5 times. Went forward, never said a word, and I'm over there like literally panicking, trying to dive out of the car. That's just Mickey Free, man. God love him. He could not have, and I'll eventually tell you how we came upon our names, Ricky Regal, Mickey Free. But he could not have picked a better name than Mickey Free, because he's just a free-spirited dude, man, and just fun-loving cat, and just had no filters, and would just do whatever or say whatever come into his head, and he's still that way. But getting back to the story, I get up on the apron like an idiot, and I'm standing, we're just talking, and he gives me a gut punch, hooks me up for the suplex, and Mickey's strong. Mickey like a bulldozer, just one big muscle. We used to call him Stump, because he's low to the ground and hard to uproot, right? That was the motto. And he just cinches me in, hooks me, and over the top rope, full high body suplex. Never taken a bump in my life. And hit the mat, bro, and I will tell you, when I tell you that when I hit that mat, I was baptized into wrestling, that's the best way I can describe it to you. It was as though I had been reborn from the outside of that ring to the inside of the ring, just in that one one instant and one moment, and I've never forgotten that, and I'll never forget it. It was literally, I there's no other way I can explain it. It was literally as though it was before wrestling and after wrestling, and that moment in time, that one moment in time where he hooked me and suplexed me into the ring, everything changed, man, and then it became like, okay, I get it now. I get it now. So that's kind of the story of how it first started. I mean, I know I kind of all over the place with it and jumped around a little bit, but I can't tell you any better how it all began, and that one instant is where it all began, and where it kind of proceeded from there. Now, I'll also be the first to tell you, we never went anywhere of note. I mean, we had a little bit of heat on us at one point. Jimmy Mitchell, who I'll tell another story, he actually had put in a call for us to come down and work at the power plant a couple times. Never went. But we did do some shows down in Columbia and had a lot of heat on us back in those days, and I'll get to those stories. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what Regal's Reality is all about, and I'll do graphics and stuff later on about Regal's Reality, and kind of hit on that a little bit going forward. Let's transition now, shall we? Let me make sure. All right, I see him in there. He's smiling. He must have enjoyed my story. All right, let me bring my guest in at this time. Those of you who know him know him. And I said yesterday, and I've said it to him, and he knows, he's aware. There's no in between with this guy. You either love him or you hate him, and you got no love for him at all. But he and I, we've had our ups, we've had our downs, but we've come out of the other end of it as friends. And I appreciate him. I appreciate what he does. But anyway, without further ado, here is my guest. Welcome, Thomas Simpson. Thomas, are you there?
Hey, Ricky, what's up?
Wait a minute. I don't hear you. I heard you earlier. Let me. Okay.
What's up?
I got you now. Wanda. Wanda, you're in the chat. Can you hear Thomas? Thomas, just say hello.
Hey, Wanda, what's up?
Can you hear Thomas, Wanda? Make sure we got our audio going here, because this is where we
had
our issue earlier. Yep, she hears.
Hey, Thomas. Yeah, she says, hey, Thomas.
Wonderful.
So I guess she can hear me.
Yeah, she can hear you. Good, that's good. All right, before we move into the this portion of the program, welcome, Thomas. So glad to have you, man. I appreciate you doing this. You didn't have to do this, but I'm glad that you did. We tried it the other day in episode 0, and my my computer was being finicky, and I think I made the fatal error of leaving my VPN going, and that became the issue. But we figured it out. We got it going, and here we are today, episode 1. Thomas, what you got going on, man? Talk to the people. Tell the people who you are.
Well, I'm Thomas Simpson. I've been doing wrestling now for I've been a fan since 1978. I've been a promoter. I've wrestled. I've managed. I've guided people. I mean, I've kind of done everything wrestling wise. I mean,
done a lot. Done a lot more than people. I think even a lot of people who claim to know you even understand. We're not going to go into a major history of it, but just tell us a little bit about Omega and how all that stuff came about.
Oh well, in 96, was it 96? No, 95. So I'd met in 93 when I had helped run a wrestling show in Abbeville, South Carolina, where I'm from. I had met a guy, Mitch Goud, and then he started American Championship Wrestling, and he kind of did it on and off, and I promoted some shows for him. And then this was like 93. And then in 94, and then in 90, he got out of it. And then in 95, he got back in it, and he asked me if I wanted to be a partner in it. And so I became a partner, and I did that. And in 96, we started doing some TV tapings, and I met 2 guys from Cameron, North Carolina. I mean, Matt and Jeff Hardy, and then Shannon Moore, and the guy Champagne, and Jason Arndt, who ended up wrestling as Joey Abs, and a group of us. And then the next year in 97, we had some issues, and I broke off with Matt and the boys from Cameron, and we started Omega. And 2 years later, Matt and Jeff were winning the World Tag Team titles and becoming famous.
And the rest.
Where they are today, the World Tag Team champions today.
Today, right?
In 2026, I mean, it's TNA.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been an insane ride.
It has. It's been for all of us who's been around for some years. No matter what experiences you've had, good, bad, or otherwise, it is an insane ride, and it gets wilder as the years. Believe it or not, even as far out as I am of it now. And I just realized the other day when I was doing one of my rants, my last show was 10 years ago. 10, and it's just shocking to me how quickly that time goes by.
I was thinking back, so my first one was like 1993.
Mm-hmm.
And our first Omega shows that we ran under the name Omega was this summer will be 29 years ago.
It's wild. The time just is nonstop. It literally does march forward. I know that our first year we got in. By the way, I brought up Jerry Hall. Were you aware of Jerry Hall back in the day?
Did he live in Joanna?
No, he lived in Waterloo.
Okay, no. So I was not aware of him at all.
Yeah.
That's a name I have never heard.
Jerry ran shows in Ware Shoals. He ran shows in Waterloo. He ran shows in Cross Hill. Well, when I say ran shows, he put up a ring and just whoever showed up showed up. It's kind of that type of thing.
I know some people that still do that.
Yeah. Bob.
So what year was that you met him?
So that's going to be. I mean, we broke in 88, 89. And I say broke in. That's when I got brought into the ring the way I just explained, but it was 88, 89, and I think we did some little spot shows, outlaw, which what we used to call outlaw shows, which shockingly, even back in those days, and as bad as they were ran better than some of the outlaw mud show crap that goes on today, which just blows my mind.
I was thinking back. I think the first time I ever saw you and Mickey wrestle was in Abbeville.
Yeah. I think that was for Gaylord.
And this was 1991.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Maybe 1991, and the steel guy was there. You had on a pair of pink tights.
That's right. That's when we were doing the Lightning Express gimmick.
You had on some pink tights. And the reason I remember you was because I was sitting beside your parents and sister.
Oh, okay. All right. I got
you. At that. Yeah. So, and Randy, I think. So it was, and I also remember, I guess, so I remember when I was walking out of the Civic Center to go home, and I heard Mickey Free said, y'all were coming that way, and he's yelled, kayfabe the door. Now people wouldn't know what that means.
That's right. They wouldn't know what it means. But when I tell
I didn't until a few years later.
when we first started learning our little bit of lingo, Bo, you couldn't tell us anything. Like we knew the secrets. We had the keys, man. We had the keys to the kingdom, and we learned a little bit of lingo from. You brought up Steel. That was Larry Heatherly. He was the one that was buff and in shape. And of course, Rick Doolittle was his partner, Blade and Steel. What were the tag team? I can't recall the tag team name.
I just remember what was it, SW and JW Steel.
Now that wasn't that was after.
Now I know that was not Rick.
Yeah, that was after Rick. Yeah, that was after. That was Scott Behrens, I think was his last name. He still lives in Lawrence. I saw him not too long ago. But he came, and it was funny. They were brothers, right? "Quote unquote" brothers. But Larry sounded like something straight out of the hills. I mean, he was an old country boy, and boy, come here and let me tell you about your match. And Scott was as far up north as you could be, and I can't do a Yankee accent, but they were brothers, and then they would talk to each other. It was just so.
That's like people Ole and Arn Anderson, right?
Right, exactly.
I mean, because Ole and Gene were both from Minnesota, and Arn is
Georgia
from. Well, he's from Rome, Georgia, and he is, and having gotten to know him and his family over the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
He is a redneck from Rome, Georgia. Yeah. I mean, I love him to death. I mean, he's a lovely man, but he is definitely a Georgia redneck.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the way it was with Larry and Scott. They were just as far apart from each other, but they did kind of similarly favor a little bit in the face, and of course. Larry was just big and bulky and bulked out, and Scott was in shape, but he wasn't as big. He was kind of like more cutting and all that stuff. But it was funny, man, that they were quote unquote brother. Blade and Steve. Well, no, that was what was it? What would you say their names were?
SW and JW.
SW and J. The Steele brothers. Yes, absolutely. That's like that's like Norton and. Norton Lewis and Cruiser Lewis. Weren't they somehow related? Weren't they? I think they were so they started out as somehow being related. I don't think they were brothers. I don't remember, but maybe Cruiser can tell us one day. But if you're just joining us, this is Regalwood Rasslin. This is episode 1. My special guest today is Thomas Simpson. We're kind of reminiscing a little bit here. We don't listen. I'll be honest. I don't write these things. I kind of go off the top of my head. Thomas is good at that too. So we're just kind of reminiscing, kind of throwing out things that we remember. And I want to talk to him about something else here in just a second. But this is Regalwood Rasslin, episode 1. We're live right now on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and Kick. YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and Kick. You can join us in the comment sections are open in all those places. I've got the comments are up on Facebook and on YouTube, also on Rumble, Kick, and Twitch. If you're any of those places, you can shoot us a message with a question or anything you might want to say. Thomas, as we move on, I noticed recently. Well, first off, for the last, what I want to say, maybe year, you can correct me, maybe year or so, you've been actually attending shows, kind of just like as a fan. What brought that on?
Oh, I've been doing that for years.
Yeah, but you'd stopped for a while, I thought.
Well, I stopped kind of at the end of, I'd said I was going to stop at the end of last year for a while, and I did stop for a while, but it kind of comes and goes. If there's something, I mean, the main reason I go is I like to go and hang out with my friends, right?
Yeah.
So like I'll go to 3 Count in Greenville because Cruiser's there.
Yeah.
And I can hang out with Cruiser and Deb.
Right.
And then plus I know most of the guys on the show. I know a lot the guys that run it. They broke in at Brody's on Friday nights back 20 years ago. And so I wrestled their first matches were against me.
Oh wow.
Because I was there. And again, you get to see friends and stuff. And I mean it's a good diversion for me.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps me from running the shows myself.
Yeah. Well, I get out from time to time. I still do get invited. Randy Wayne, God bless him. He's always inviting me to come to shows and stuff. And I feel like a month ahead of I think I would like to go out and see. But then as the day approaches, I'm like, I just don't know if I want to.
Well, I've gone to one of his shows and it was very good.
Yeah, and again, it's not.
And I'm hypercritical.
Well, and that's another thing. Another thing I wanted to bring up about that. But before I get to that, I just it is interesting that there's all these some of these promotions are out there still doing it, and some of them are good, some of them not so good. And speaking of the not so good, our buddy Gossett has started up again. What's your opinions?
That fat crook. Well, he has actually gotten a license now.
Shocker.
He has a license, and I guess I don't know if a statute of limitations or anything's run out on his various things that he went to the howler for.
Yeah.
So he has. I mean, he has a license. So he had a show last weekend at the Anderson Mall, and it was licensed. Now he's done others around there that were not licensed.
Yeah.
But he tried to get me to come work for him one time.
And these most recent shows or before that?
Oh, this was like, I guess. Well, I had my. Maybe it was before COVID, and so before I had my heart attack and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But he was wanting me to come and go and sell sponsorships for him.
Okay, I got you.
And then he said, well, you can line up the sponsorships and I'll come in and make the deal. And I thought to myself, well, why the hell would I want to sell sponsorships for you when I could be doing it for myself?
Right.
And plus, he also, with his booking and stuff, he's like, I'm big on the old. So I guess this was after COVID. This was maybe 2022 or so.
Yeah.
Where he's like, well, I'm big on the old WCW guys and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want some friggin' senior. I don't want to see senior citizens wrestling. I mean, that's part of the problem, or AARP wrestling. That's part of my problem with people now. I mean, I want to see, and I got tons of friends that they shouldn't be wrestling. I mean, stay home and do something else.
Right. Right.
I mean, now if you're an AARP member like Matt Hardy and you making big money and you still selling out big buildings all over the country, that's one thing.
Certainly.
But if you're Joe Blow from Union, going to wrestle every little show you can, I mean, no, I mean, I just can't, and I don't want to see it.
Right.
I don't, as a booker and a promoter, that's not what I want to see now.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's I just found it interesting that, and he'll do this. He'll pop up. He'll go away for some years and go other places, I guess, and then he'll pop back up, and there it is. And I'm just.
Well, we're taking bets.
Well, yeah,
on how long. There's a number of us that are taking bets on how long it will either last, or he gets sideways with the Anderson Mall,
right,
or he screws someone over out of the money. Okay, because this is what always happens with him.
Well, let me caveat that by saying, hopefully he's changed, but hopefully he's turned over a new leaf, and hopefully he's seen the error of his ways.
A leopard never changes his spots, just like a slapper never changes her knickers.
Well, those opinions are Thomas Simpson's, but I tend to agree. I hope, again, let me caveat it by saying I hope to God that he has seen the error of his ways and has changed and is trying to do the right thing.
No, it just takes him a month to pay his talent.
Yeah,
and that's a shoot.
Yeah, no, I know, and like I said, I know that that he's done this many times before. It's shocking to me that people still actually will trust him enough to get involved. Ken Magnum, you were talking about him in one of your recent reviews, and I was surprised that he got on board as quickly as he did with Gossett there. But apparently, it worked out good for him. So God bless, I guess. I don't. We'll see. But I think you and I, even the other day when we were trying to get the episode 0 up and running, I think you and I even mentioned then, you just kind of waiting on the other shoe to drop, and it's unfortunate. But I mean, that's by his own design. I mean, that's from his history, and history is always
He's
a
his own worst
precursor.
enemy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's his own worst enemy
Yeah.
when it comes to wrestling.
And history always a precursor to future, activities. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I'm surprised.
So Wanda says that he is opening a mattress store in the mall too.
Oh, I didn't know that. So maybe that's where he's
getting enough. There's enough damn mattress stores in Anderson. Jesus.
Well, we need a gossip. We need a shooter mattress store. The shooter mattresses, I guess. Is he wrestling? He's not wrestling, is he?
No, you haven't seen on his Facebook where he's got a GoFundMe trying to raise money for all his, apparently he's had to have something amputated or something like that.
I didn't know.
My God. I mean, look, I had, and here's what I just tears me up about people. All right, and I'm going to get on my little soapbox if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So these people, they put this GoFundMe out there for him. Okay.
Yep.
He has a hole in his foot. He's got a big hole in his head. But anyway, so here he is.
Yeah.
He's a carny ass mother.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get people to donate money to his thing. Now, here I had a quintuple bypass. I done lost my leg and my foot. I'll even show you. See here. See, yeah. I'll show you. See, I got my leg. Yeah. Right? And right. See, that's what I got.
Yeah.
And I did not ask anybody for a damn cent.
Yeah.
And why he wants to come and beg people and stuff. I mean, what kind of no.
Yeah.
No. Get a job, get a MFing job. Come on.
I appreciate the self-censorship. I really do. Didn't he, and we'll get off of it. I didn't mean to just turn into a gossip bitch fest, but didn't he some years ago send to you a picture of a house burning and saying that he needed help or something?
Oh no, he said that to one of a wrestler trying to get money.
But didn't they then find out that it was a house that had been? It was like another. It wasn't even his residence or something. What was that?
Yeah, it was like a 10-year-old picture and stuff. Yes, yeah. And that's that we got Google now. You can search this shit.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly. I just remember that, and it was like when you kind of stoop to some of those levels, man. It's for me. I'm like Maya Angelou. Once you show me who you are, I believe you. And he and I had runs and rounds years and years ago, and actually on my original.
I think everybody has had one with him.
Everybody has. In my original, my over-the-air WLBG show, I actually brought him in and interviewed him, and I asked him some of those hard questions. And of course, he tried to kayfabe a lot of it and talk around it. But that's still even up there on the YouTube channel, Wrestle Radio 860 on YouTube. Thomas, one more thing I want to talk to you about before we cut you loose here. I noticed that you're doing the written reviews, and when you attend some of these shows and stuff, and I will tell you, I enjoy the kind of the like you'll do the rundown of the show, but then you'll also give some opinion. Some of it popular, some of it not so popular, but you'll also tell some stuff how it directly, relates to you and your knowledge of promoting and whatnot. How's that going for you so far as writing? Do you get any heat from that stuff, or I know you don't care, but how's that work out for
you? Of course I don't care. No, there have been a few people that was, so the last one I wrote from when I was at 3 Count a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So one of the people who I criticized unfriended me on Facebook and then tried to friend me back again.
Wow.
Which, I'm not having that, right?
That's right.
I'm like, yeah, you want to friend? I said, but your mom and daddy didn't unfriend me, but your little hot-headed 18-year-old redheaded self, you unfriended me, but no, you can't come back just right now.
Right.
So it's like, again, if people don't like what I got to say, then prove me wrong.
That's kind of always been my way of looking at it too. Look, I'm not saying this just because I don't like you or have any kind of heat with you or whatever. It's just a matter of fact. People used to get so mad when I would post pictures of shows, and they would be, and I don't care what goes on in the ring. Anybody can get in the ring and do anything. Look at the fans. Look at how the fans are reacting. Look, first off, see if there are any fans. And 90% of the time there would not be. There'd be maybe 5 or 6. The normal, 10 or 12, whatever it is, and most of those are family and friends. And people would get just so mad. Why are you crapping all over our? No, I'm not. I'm crapping over your promoter because if he was worth his salt, you would have a full building. Which what you and I always prided ourselves on. You were running Omega. And
as a matter of fact, last time I saw you at a wrestling show was at my wrestling show about 11 years ago, and I had a big full building.
That's right. That's right. And as well as mine and the Christmas shows, the Christmas for Kids shows.
Yes.
You were there.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw those buildings were always full. And I would take personal pride in doing that because, I didn't want those guys to have to do anything but come in and work probably in front of the biggest crowds that they've ever worked in front of, and some of them ever worked in front of. And that was kind of like, I felt like that was, as a promoter, that should be our job. So a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people were like, and I don't want to, I know Eagle's gone through some things, but a lot of people are blowing smoke up Chief's headdress now because I don't know whatever's going on with him. But at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like, and I will stand by what I say.
Because his wife left him. Oh, woe is me. Because she left him. I mean, that's those two deserve each other. And
well,
they've always been they treated me like trash. Yeah. And so, that's it is what it is.
It is what it is. And like I said, hindsight is always looked upon, I guess, with maybe rose-colored glasses. A lot of people now, especially, are putting out how great everybody could always count on Eagle and all of this blah, 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 blah. But in my opinion, which is humble and which only matters, I guess, to me, is that I feel like people like Eagle and him personally and people like him are the cause of some of the reason the business is in the shape it's in today, with just anybody being able to get in the ring and be smartened up immediately and never pay the first due. And that's just, again, one man's opinion, but, a lot of people, again, are blowing smoke up his headdress nowadays, whatever. I mean, look at him back with fond memories all you want, but the facts are he would let anybody get in that ring. And people who did not belong would be in that ring. And
he let them do it for free.
Right.
That's the stupid thing. If you're going to do something that's so disrespectful to professional wrestling, you at least ought to try to make a buck off of it.
Right. Make $1 off of it.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's the problem. People have lost the understanding and the understanding that you had when you ran your Christmas shows that I had when I ran my shows most of the time.
Yeah.
We're out to make money.
Right.
It's about making money. It's called professional for a reason. That means there's an exchange of cash between people.
Right. No,
this is not upward. It's not like the upward basketball and stuff they have at churches and things.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's what professional wrestling, independent professional wrestling, has become.
Yeah, no, it has, and
everybody wins, everybody plays, everybody wins.
Yeah.
When most of them shouldn't even be allowed to. I'm always willing to let anybody come and buy a ticket.
Sure, absolutely.
But that's as close as you should get to the ring.
Well, there was a thing, and it's funny you said that because I was just thinking about that earlier, and I'm glad you said that because this new motto of wrestling is for everybody. That is the biggest, exactly. That is the biggest load of BS that I think I have probably ever heard when it comes to wrestling. But that's the new motto: wrestling is for everybody.
Well, that is people like this Travis Manning Trammell up there in Spartanburg, and those bunch of marks that they get around wrestlers and they become wrestlers' friends.
Yeah.
And they can get some money up They have to work all week and save up their money and for months, and then come and put on a wrestling show with the Wrestling for Jesus and all these people.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but a bunch of marks and a circle jerk.
Well, it's just you get these children who don't. I've always said wrestlers, and the wrestling that I came up on, those guys were larger than life. I mean, you really believe that. I mean, Lakita, Ivan, the Road Warriors, for God's sakes. I mean, those guys were legitimately terrifying. And you could feel that through your screen. Like, I would never even want to cross that guy's path in the brightly lit daytime, much less, have to fight him. But now it's just any kid can walk in and have no look, have no gear, have no anything. And I can't suspend the disbelief that you could beat me up in any kind of fight. Much less a professional wrestling bout, which ostensibly you're supposed to be a trained fighter. That's the gimmick. That's the thing that we're selling you is we're trained fighters. But that's gone. You talk about kayfabe being gone.
Oh, it's acrobats. It's
right.
Acrobats and grab ass and hoo-ha and stuff now. I mean, it is. It's they do stupid stuff and they do fake stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean,
well,
it looks ridiculous.
It does look ridiculous, and it goes back to another one you attended the show recently, I just remembered this too. You attended the show, I want to say last year, maybe even longer than that ago. Where the girls got mad at you because you were out there running commentary.
That was Travis Travels, that show in Spartanburg, yeah.
But but then the girl, I guess, gets angry and then goes and writes this long thing on Facebook about wrestling should be for everybody, and I'm going to defend my opponent.
Bullshit.
What are you talking about? What in what world does that compute? Because I couldn't figure it out.
Well, the problem is the marks are the ones running stuff now.
Yeah.
I mean, and when there's none around, when there's no opportunities and nothing else left, then don't come cry to me. Don't come cry to me.
That whole deal of wrestling is for everyone. That thing just annoys me, even though I'm not involved in it anymore. And
I think wrestling is for everyone if you want to come and pay your money and sit and watch it.
Agreed.
But you mentioned Eagle. Eagle was the same way.
Right.
Eagle was this Lady J, Jimmy Ward, and his son that are running show. He let him come in up to EPW and be a manager and start doing that stuff. And then he got in, got a promoter's license and bought a ring and all these things. And again, I will say this myself, I have gotten some people in the wrestling business, and guess what I did to them when they didn't pan out? I ran them the hell out.
Right.
You want me to name some names?
I know the names, and you know
the names. You know the names,
right? And you would cut them loose, and that would be the end of that. Which we don't have. We don't have a lot of people who would do that, who won't just be like, "Hey, man, this thing ain't for you." And in my, even in my shoot job, I would be like, this job ain't for everybody. It's not something that everybody can do. But the thing of it is we've moved so far from that is where everybody can do it. You put your 7-year-old in there. Put your 7-year-old in there. He can even do this. And therein lies where I think that the magic, right? The magic that I grew up on, and the magic that even was there when I was active, it just feels like it's gone now. And I don't know. I don't think that can ever be recaptured. I don't think. I don't see how it could be.
Absolutely not. And a lot of it has to do with the internet and exposing. You can go and find out everything, and then of course what's that WWE show they got that they showed the back?
Is it the unscripted or one?
I don't know. I watched a few minutes of it and I had to turn it off. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a magician. A magician doesn't go and tell his secrets.
That's right.
And
right.
I just no, I don't. And if I am in a wrestling match, you're not gonna know if I'm faking it or not.
Well, and that was always the thing.
And I'm the shits as a wrestler, but I'm gonna promise you, you gonna think I'm beating the hell out of someone.
Well, it's just unbelievable that it's and that was one of the things that I really didn't understand why the and again, I always preface everything I say about the WWE or any of the major companies is, look, they're millionaires doing millionaire things, and I'm just a guy sitting in a room talking to you.
No, they're billionaires doing billionaire things.
Billionaires doing billionaire things, and I'm just a guy in a room. But I don't,
right.
for the life of me, understand what the thought process was of, you know what, let's just bring the cameras into our writing room and let's just pull all the curtains back and just, hey, this is what it is, yet still somehow try to act like there's kayfabe when you killed it, you murdered it, you dug it up, killed it again, and now you want to say, well, but this might kind of like be real, the reaction that whoever's getting because of the way we've written their match. And that to me is just, that's nonsense on top of nonsense.
Yeah, it is. But then again, it's also, so why do you, if you like sports, a certain sports team or something, to me, it's like if you like a certain wrestler, that's your team.
Yeah.
And no matter what, I mean, I've got some wrestlers that I like, and those are my guys.
Sure.
And indie guys, and even some that are on television, though not many, because they've disappointed me in some way, shape, or form. But I still every Thursday night, I will, like tonight, I will be watching TNA to see Matt and Jeff.
Sure, yeah, of course.
So and I've been doing it now 30 years. So yeah. I'm not going to stop.
Right.
But then again, they still have respect for the business. They really do. I mean, they do. We have these same conversations I have with you. We have that same conversations.
Yeah, and they, I appreciate that because I know that there's still some few things that'll pop up from time to time that even I'll pay a little special attention to. But that's just. But again, we're older. We kind of come up through all of this from when there was hardcore kayfabe up to where there's none. But my thing is, and you brought up sports, I don't know how, as a young fan, just say, for instance, if I were today to be exposed to wrestling at the age I was initially, I don't know, 10 or 8 or 10, whatever it was, would I buy into it the way that I did then? Because there's just so much out there, and like you said, everything on the internet. I mean, there are people in comment sections just running off a litany of, insider terms, there is no inside anymore, right? So where's the suspension of disbelief for me to say, okay, do they watch it now as though it's like a television program, like a fictional show, or how's it watched?
So my buddy Matty G, who's ring announces for 3 Count stuff. So he's got a 6-year-old son, right?
Yeah.
And Elliot, he absolutely loves wrestling.
Yeah.
So a little kid is not going to worry about getting on the internet.
Yeah.
And finding out all the insider details. He likes seeing AJ Styles wrestle, Roman Reigns wrestle, these kind of things, when and kids like that.
Yeah.
And the casual fan still, all they know is like watching Raw.
Yeah.
Or watching SmackDown.
Right.
Or watching Dynamite or some of that. They're not going to really dig deep into the inner workings and stuff. And that's what fanboys do, okay?
Yeah.
That's the fanboys like And with any kind of thing that there's crazy fandom. So like this morning, I'll just give you the story. So this morning I went to Walmart to pick up some candy for our office area at work, right? And so I was there, and I mean, this was like right after 7 o'clock. No, right after 6. Excuse me. So I was checking out, self-check the candy and stuff. And so there were some people, grown adults, that were talking about Super Mario Brothers stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But it never would have occurred to me that grown adults would be talking like detailed things about that. So, I mean, there comes a certain fandom where people just go kind of crazy on it. That is one of their motivating things in life is, I mean, I got some people like that, some really wonderful, sweet people. Wrestling is like, other than their job and their family, wrestling's their thing.
Yeah.
They concentrate, they spend all their money going to wrestling shows, doing wrestling things.
Well, nowadays you have to spend all your money, especially if you're going to a WWE show, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm serious. They do, and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, of course, yeah, I can't say anything. I remember back in my 20s and 30s when I was promoting wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was spending all my money doing that, right? I mean, and actually Matt and Jeff had posted. No, Matt had posted today. So like 20 years ago, yesterday was when their autobiography came out.
Oh wow!
And I remember talking about there that in the book they said that Thomas would rather drive a shitty car and run wrestling shows.
Yeah, no, but look, I mean, we've all done it. We've all gone up and down the roads in those crappy cars and ate those crappy Waffle House meals and stuff. Look, thank God for fans, and thank God they're still hanging on to it. I just don't. I guess the question is, I just don't know where's there left to go. And some people still, I guess, do suspend disbelief, and there's always going to be a fandom. I liken it sort of like to Ringling Brothers. That thing comes around once a year, and even though it's been around 200 years, I guess, close to, they still packs out houses. So there'll always be a show. There'll always be an audience for wrestling. It's just, I guess, it will continue.
You don't ever. All I've got to say is 2 words: roller derby.
But it's true. That's true. But
I mean, there's nothing that says that wrestling eventually will not go, by the wayside. But it's. I hate to say the cliche, too big to fail.
Yeah.
I think there'll always be. It is now a form of entertainment,
right?
And it'll self-perpetuate, right? I don't think as many people in the long run will make there isn't now, and there will be even. Let me say this: there will be fewer people in the future making a living off professional wrestling than there are now.
Yeah, but without
just like there is probably 1/10 of the people making a living off professional wrestling today than there was 50 years ago, 40 years ago.
Right, certainly.
Definitely 50 years ago, certainly 40 years ago.
I guess it'll continue to evolve and change, and the fans will evolve and change with it, because the wrestling style you see now on television is nothing like what we came up on the NWA stuff and even WWF stuff back in the day. So it's all going to continue to change and I guess grow
I wouldn't be surprised to see the in-ring kind of go back to the old way because with people getting so injured.
Yeah.
With all this high impact stuff, and I can't. And I mean, my wrestling shows, my Omega shows, are as much to blame for that style starting out here in the United States as anyone.
Yeah.
But then if you talk to Matt and Jeff now, well, they did what they did 30 years ago to get a job.
Yeah.
Now they got the job and they can cut it down. Well, at least Matt.
Right.
So you had to tell brother, maybe not so much.
Right.
Okay. And this last thing he got hurt at NXT, and he's still working through that. And now it's kind of like, say if you, I don't know if you saw like the premiere on AMC with and Matt and Jeff were wrestling with Skyler and that crew, and so Jeff can give you either the swanton where his body lands, mostly his ass lands on the mat,
yeah,
and stuff, or he'll give you the crouton where like the whole body falls on you.
Yeah.
So he gave Skyler the crouton, and after the match, I sent text to the guys and stuff, and I said, "Brother was a little stiff on that crouton, wasn't he?" He said, "Look, man, when he hit me, it was like, whoa." He said, "I couldn't get my breath for 5 minutes."
Yeah.
So, but I mean, and that's why I preach to guys now, tone it down. That's why Chase Emery, he can do some flashy stuff, but he just kind of, he said, he's waiting to save it to make some money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of that too comes with age and wisdom, and mostly with age.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, well, Thomas, man, I thank you so much for coming on with me today. Before I let you go, let me change that. Before I let you go, what you got coming up? Anything big coming up?
I just sent my crew a message. I said, "Man, I have got to run a wrestling show. There's so many good guys out here. I'm chomping at the bit. I mean, I wasn't gonna. Unfortunately, I was trying to get a show with the Hardys together, maybe toward the end of the year, early next year for the 30th anniversary of Omega, something here in the Greenwood area. But I want to do something small first off, something I can. If I don't have a packed house, it won't hurt my feelings, and it won't hurt my pocketbook.
Yeah.
So, because we know these days that's the most important thing is the pocketbook, right?
Absolutely, without always.
Yes, but I really there's some. I think that, and I know a lot of people want to see some wrestling.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see wrestling, and I really and I want to see some wrestling. I want to see some good wrestling because I know I can promote some good wrestling because nobody else here within 500 miles can.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't go to, again, I don't go to shows. I know there's some out there. I know there's what is that, Turbo? What, didn't you know some of those guys?
Oh no, they were running breweries and stuff, and now they can't find anywhere to run. They haven't run anything since like October.
Oh, what? Well, don't they?
Because a lot of these breweries and stuff up around Greenville and everything, they've shut down or had to redo things and stuff because of the crazy insurance, because South Carolina requires so much.
Well, are they? Am I thinking of them, or is it the wrong one? Are they in some kind of cross-promotional thing with Channel 7 locally?
Okay. So here's the deal with that.
Yeah.
So that is old shows that they have filmed.
Ah.
Okay, or recorded, however you want to call it, but it ain't filmed anymore.
Right.
So they have recorded old shows because, see, Josh Powers, that's Josh Powers and TK Stark.
Yeah.
Two of my ungrateful pricks that I tried to help out, right?
Okay.
And so Josh works for Channel 4. And TK works for Channel 7.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. So see, at one time there was Brent Wolverton for Channel 21,
right?
Josh at 4,
okay,
as a video editor, and I think TK does the same thing at Channel 7.
That's
why TK, or if it's not TK, it's one of his buddies works at Channel 7.
Okay.
So they were able to get that stuff on one of Channel 7's streaming things, right?
Right.
Why you would want to go to all the trouble to do that when you can put it here on YouTube,
right,
and have 50 times the people watch?
Yeah, I would assume so. Certainly.
Because of all times they have it on, I think it's actually Wednesday night at 8:00 is when it shows when EW comes on.
Okay, I didn't know. I knew they
it's freaking ridiculous. And I haven't actually seen anything about it here lately. So I don't know. Again, it's just, I guess they're just trying to keep a dead brand alive. But again, they do stupid stuff with like Thumbtack. I don't know about Thumbtack. They do. The thing with Josh, Josh Powers, to be such a big guy and such a commanding presence, he has got the sensibilities of a little child. And so he wants to do silly stuff like the little fake stop and start things in matches and the Invisible Man wrestling. These like the Orange Cassidy horse shit and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so they have that kind of stuff on their shows, and it's just it exposes the business.
Yeah. Yeah, I never.
It's just it's like kids today where their idea of funny is, I don't know, like the SpongeBob or the Family Guy, which Star Wars stuff. Family Guy's good, and I grew up on watching Sanford and Son. Right? We are not the same.
We're not the same. That's exactly right.
No, we're not the same.
It was just curious. And that's breaking news. I didn't know that they worked for those television stations. So that answers that question. And I didn't know that they weren't currently running because I happened to have Channel 7 on last night, and the little anchor there said something about be sure to tune in tonight to Turbo or whatever it is. What is it? Turbo? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's Pro Wrestling Turbo.
And showed some well edited clips there within it, and it looked.
It's lipstick on a pig.
Yeah,
it just like it looks good.
Yeah,
it's well produced and it looks good and got good crowds and stuff. But then you look at the wrestling and you want to vomit.
Always. Never. Tell us how you really feel. Thomas, you're holding back, and I don't understand why you're holding back so much. You're not being honest. Come on, man. Come on, let it go for once. Thomas Simpson, everybody. Look, man, I do appreciate you so much for coming on.
I have had a ball doing this.
Well, I'm glad you did, and we'll do it again.
Maybe I'm gonna have to make my own. Maybe I'm gonna have to have my own show with you.
That's great. I'm all for it. This is a work in progress. I don't have any kind of set thing. I'm just kind of feeling it as I go. Like I said, I don't write this stuff. It just comes off the top of the head. I wanted to review a couple of things with you, but we're over an hour now, and I don't.
We'll do it next time. I'll come back.
Yeah, we'll definitely have some better stuff to review. There's much out there this week that I wanted. The Tony Storm thing. That's kind of what I was looking at. I don't watch wrestling, like I said. AEW never really caught my eye, but it's Tony Storm. I don't know if you have an opinion on her. You may even know her. I don't. But she just. I
have met her actually. I've met her and spent some time talking to her.
She seems like a good hand, but just some of the stuff that I've seen her doing, like I think in the most recent match with the Ronda Rousey debut. She actually bit the girl on the boob or something. I don't know, man. I mean, how far are we pushing this stuff? God bless, but isn't that show like in prime time and like kids and stuff? I don't know. I'm not
It
a
was on
prude.
pay-per-view. It
Oh,
was
it's
on
pay-per-view. Okay.
pay-per-view.
All right. Well, I'm not a prude by
So
any means, but
you can titty bite on pay-per-view.
I see. Okay, so that explains that. Okay. Well, that's a good answer. Anything you want to tell us before we let you go, Thomas?
Nope. Other than thank you for having me on. I had a ball.
Well, thank you so much for coming on as well. Now that I figured out how to bring guests in here, we may do a roundtable at some point. We'll get some other old heads in here, and we can all.
Well, I hope it's nice ones.
Yeah, it'll be friends. Then we can all kind of sit in the
No
corner.
tanning bed Indians.
No, I don't think he would come on, even if invited. I don't think he would. I don't believe that he would. And we can all just kind of.
Or they're walking, talking leather purse ex-wives.
I didn't know. You broke some more news there. I didn't know that they had split. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, good God, yeah. She been with that, what's his name, Chad Colt?
Oh, see,
She been with him for a long time.
I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. I know it's all nasty.
Are they still running AP? Is there some version of APW still running, or is that gone too?
There's some girl that they call it EPW or something, Extreme Pro Wrestling, and Rhonda still runs the concession stand with her hot dogs. Apparently, so what I was told by someone that she said if she didn't run the concession stand, that she would burn that building down.
Okay. Well, that must mean a lot to
her. That's just what I was told. But she runs the concession stands there every Friday night.
With her hot dogs.
Some people, and I do know some people that go there because it's 15 minutes from the house, and they can get a payoff.
Right.
Well, it would cost it. I wouldn't work there for $200, but that's just me.
Well, God bless.
I ain't working for nobody.
Well, understood.
Except Thomas Simpson.
Is there any update on Nick Fury? You actually told me that he had a pretty successful surgery. Any updates on Fury?
That's what I heard. I have heard absolutely nothing else about Nick Fury.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, God bless.
Wanda Bratton might know. Wanda, have you heard anything? If you're still there, have you heard anything about Nick Fury?
Give her a second to answer there. I still have. Looks like she's still in there. She may not be. I don't know. But I haven't heard anything.
So I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either, other than the initial thing, and then I think didn't you say he did get some movement back though? Which thank God.
Yeah, I heard that once he had after the surgery, he could move his toes or something, or his feet. So.
That's good. That's very good. All right, Thomas, again, man, thank you so much for coming. I do appreciate you.
You're welcome.
We will do this again. I guarantee you that. Like I said, we may do a roundhouse at some point where we just sit in the room and shake our fists at the sky at what our thing has become.
That one updates on the surgeon's good and he is moving his limbs.
That's
okay.
Well, good. God bless. That's great news, because that was always.
That's good.
I mentioned it in one of my other things that was always just a fear of mine, is hurting my neck and not being able to function. So thank God that he's recovered from that, and God bless him and his family. All right, that's going to do it for the Thomas Simpson portion. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll come back and we will wrap this thing up. Stand by. Regalwood Rasslin continues after this.
So I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're good. I appreciate you, man. I'll give you a call in a little bit. All right. Back live. I am Ricky Regal, your host. What about that Thomas, huh? I told you we were going to hit the ground running here, man, in episode 1. And I don't know how much faster we could have hit the ground running than that. I mean, love him or hate him, the guy's been around. The guy has opinions. We all do. He's never been shy with his opinions, and neither have I. And big thanks go out to Thomas, who has done a lot in this business. He's pissed a lot of people off. We know that, including myself in times. But like I said at the beginning, we've overcome a lot of that, come out the other. I understand where he's coming from. I don't necessarily always agree with everything he says, but at the same time, I do. I respect his opinion in his right to by God say it. If you get offended, then I guess you're just offended. Whatever. I said as kind of like a preview to this, that I was going to show you a picture or some pictures of something that was probably going to elicit some visceral reaction, and I'm going to do that now. And before I brought Thomas on, and we'll have him on again in the future. We'll have other people on in the future. I feel like that I enjoy the give and take, the back and forth aspect of that. I've never done that before in any of my streams. So having that option there, I think it brings a lot to the thing. And again, I will be changing up some of the don't get thrown by the Regalwood gaming stuff. That's still up there, and that still will be a thing. That it'll be an entity unto itself, but I'm going to have to go into OBS here, which is all behind baseball stuff or inside baseball stuff. But I'll be changing the graphics and all that stuff eventually when I get a free minute to do it between this and real job stuff or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to show you something now. And I don't know if some of you won't even have a clue what it is. Let me just say that. Some of you will have no idea. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. I do appreciate you watching and commenting. Comments are wide open, and we're not quite done yet. I got a couple more minutes here. We've been going hour and 22 minutes. I'm probably going to wrap it up around an hour and a half mark, but the comments are still wide open. The Facebook is open but I'm taking comments there on the Inside Wrestling Radio page. That's where this is running live on Facebook, the Inside Wrestling Radio page. YouTube is Wrestle Radio 860, WRESTLERADIO 860, Wrestle Radio 860 on YouTube. Twitch is Regalwood 6969. Rumble and Kick is Regalwood. So just go in there and get in there and check it. Check me out or shoot me a comment. Be sure to like and subscribe, man. I don't ask for a dime. I don't want a dime. This ain't about money. This ain't about none of that. This is about getting one man's opinion out there to the masses. And by doing that, it supports the community as a whole. And so if you click like, click subscribe, even throw a comment in one of these hosts, it gets me out there into the algorithm, and it lets people kind of be able to find me who are also have the same kind of interests and like minds that we all have. I'm not asking for much, just a like, just a comment, a subscribe, a thumbs up, whatever, and that helps us out in the algo. Now, having said all that, what I'm about to show you, some of you are not going to have a clue what it is. You're not going to care, and it's not going to mean anything to you. But those of you who were around will get it instantly. You will get it immediately. There will not have to be a lead up. There will not have to be an explanation. Those of you who know will know. This is literally one of those if you know, you know moments. And so I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to bring that up right now. Let me get myself out of the way here so you can get the full brunt of this as it comes forward. This, my friends, and again, those of you who are around will know, this, my friends, is what all the fuss was about back in about 22 years ago. This, my friends, is the Regal board. See that? Look at that. It still exists. This is what all the hype was about. This right here, this dumb little message board was the impetus of a lot of drama, a lot of aggravation, a lot of nonsense. Some real world fights broke out from this same thing that you're looking at right here. And there it is. That seemingly innocent looking little message board was the impetus for a lot of drama. There were some good things about it. There were some things that was okay. But there was some that was not so good. Believe it or not, and this actually sits on the Wayback Machine, and I'll tell you how to get to it if you're interested. You can't really go in and interact with it. Now, you can peruse some of these. Let's just go to the Ask Ricky Regal section right here. Some of the pages. Okay, that one's not there. What this Wayback Machine does is it would go in and periodically would crawl the websites and just take snapshots of it and leave them there. But you can actually, in some of these, you can actually peruse what was there. And this one is from June 8th, 2004. This was a snapshot that was taken by the Wayback Machine back then. There's some of the names: Mastodon, Malibu Princess, Golden Eagle, War Machines 2005, Robbie Boyette, who was the host, and I appreciate him for always doing that. AJ Frost, Osgard, James McCone was on there. Al Sharpton, Televiper, which was Viper, we all know from North Carolina. Reginald Vanderhoff, he was part of it. Jason Hutto, just names: Jimmy Kindred, Viper again, Angel, who's Kim, good friend goes way back. And it's just so much, and you can kind of look and see stuff. The topics are still there. I don't think you can go into any of them. I think they don't go back that far. But you can, they're there. What was there on that day is still there and still clickable, and you can still kind of click through some of this stuff. We had different little areas. We had a general, we had a website discussion, the Ask Ricky Regal, indie stuff. What was in the indie Federation discussion? Let's just see if anything's there. So yeah, guys would come in and they would do their ASWA stuff, APW. Mr. Simpson's actually in here, and I think that was shortly after he and I had heat. So there he is, Mr. Simpson. If you see right there, some people who are not with us anymore. Randy, Randy Sanchez. People who are no longer with the Brody Chase. There's some stuff in there with Brody when the WWC was going. And again, some of these are clickable, some of them are not. You can click on all of these. They're all kind of live links, but they don't necessarily go anywhere. But there it is. I wanted to traumatize some of you with the Regal board because it still lives. It still lives. See if you could do a private message. No, that's not there. I don't even know if you could check the members list. We can try. Yep, there's your members list. 1 and 2, Robbie and I, and then it just went on from there. And this was early in its life. I think it went from 2004 to around 2008. I think it was maybe around. But there's some names in there that. Some are legit, some are not legit. There was a lot of issues with people using fake names. Blue Demon was one that comes to mind. Stony Hooker was in there. Gossett was in there. There's the shooter right there. Let's see. We had, oh my God, 500. Wait, that's just page 1. Page 2. How many members did we have on this thing? 661, it looks like. 661 Jedi wrestler. I don't know, Outlaw, Paisley. It just goes on and on and on. But yeah, that, my friends, is the infamous Regal board, and a lot I cannot explain to you. Those who are around will remember and will know. But there was a lot of A lot of stuff stemmed from this place right here, and I have a love-hate relationship with it. I'd always said I didn't want some of the bad that came out of that thing to be the legacy of Regal, and I hope that I hope that it's not. I hope that the Christmas for Kids stuff would be any remaining legacy that I may have, but whatever. I just wanted to show some of you who've been around that, and you again, it just me seeing it again for the first time in over 20 years. I was kind of like, whoa, it's visceral. And the actual page itself, or the website, I had set up a RickyRegal.com, and it sits in the Wayback Machine too. And here are the reality. This is the home page. We would do like headlines here. Jason Martin, he was a featured columnist. Of course, I had columns. Robbie Boyette had columns. There were some pictures that were posted. Michael Adrian even got in there and was starting to write a few things. I don't know if these pictures probably still exist or not. Let's see. Pictures from 6/1/2004. Robbie Boyette against Brody Chase. Holy cow. Look at that. This is what I went in as a one-time heel to help, and I went in and was kind of doing a parody of Brody Chase, and not the best. Okay, that just the little thumbnails are present here. But I have not seen some of this, and yeah, that's, I don't know if you can see that there. Okay, yeah, it only goes so deep in, but unbelievable. I went in and did a little parody of Brody Chase, and it was something. What else we got here? Robbie Boyette wins the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, and some of them are there, some of them are not. I mean, this is a flash. This is a moment in time, man. And Tracy Smothers was at that event. Tracy's of course gone now, but yeah. What do you think? I mean, does that not take you back? East Extreme Wrestling Council Show, 5/11/2004. See if anything's there from that. Yep. Wait. Yep. There we are. Unbelievable. Voodoo Daddy. I wish some of these could come up. There's thumbnails in there. I'll show you how to get to this if you want to go and kind of look at some of the thumbnails of some of these events. There's Regal again. Look at there. I didn't even know I was at that one. Come and look like I gave Brody some what for down there in that picture. Yeah, this still exists. Believe it or not, and I was actually shocked that it still sits up there and out there in the rest of. But like they say, nothing ever goes away on the internet, friends. It's there forever in one form or another. So if you're interested and you care about this stuff, let me do one more thing before I get off of this. The Regal's reality columns. Not that it matters or anything like that, but some of these are still clickable. I think 2 is still there. You can read. Just little remembrances of things that I remember from back, that I would write these, and these are years old. I think it's 4's there. Yeah, there's some that are still there that are clickable. But if you're going to read one, read this one right here, the Metro. The Metro is a 2-parter. Right there, the Metro. And that tells the story, which I'll recount here someday on this self-same program. But this is the story of us going to the Metro in Atlanta and what all came of that and how it kind of went down. And then there's part 2, which is kind of wraps it all up. There's one of my longer writings, but that one is if you're going to read any of those things, I would suggest read the Metro. It's just a good snapshot of that particular moment in time, as far as Ricky Regal and Mickey Free and what we were doing back in ye olden days, as it were. So what you do is you just go to your favorite search engine and you type in Wayback Machine, Internet Archive. All right, and once you get there, just go to your whatever search engine you use, and say, for instance, we use Google, right? Go to Google and we'll just type in way back, and it'll come up. I mean, you can put in just first few letters. Click the first thing that comes up, Wayback Machine, right? Go to Wayback Machine, and then you'll come to their top page here. And then all you got to do is just type in RickyRegal.com. RickyRegal.com, right? And it'll go searching. So to find stuff, you got to go back here to this bar at the top, right? See this here? Where you see these black lines, those were dates that the thing was crawled. And I just went back to 2004, which was the first crawls that they had. Any of these dates, the blue dates, like June 7th, June 13, August 29, September 5, they're going to give you a kind of a snapshot of what was there that day, right? And so I think I just went to the 7th here, June 7th, which is blue. Click on that. And then in there's a time. I know this sounds complicated, but it's really not. Hit that time, and that'll take you to the snapshot of that day, and there you are. And over here, these links still work. These links still work. Go to columns there, Regal's Reality, and there they are. And then you click on the Regal message board, and that brings up our old friend, the Regal board. What do you think about that? Isn't that something? I didn't even know it was still out there till the other day. And again, you can't go too deep in because it only like takes a picture of this or that. But whatever. There it is. Those of you who know that was probably boring for a lot of you who don't know, but those of you who kind of were around, you get it, and I think you understand what that was and what it became. All right, episode 1 in the books. Leave us a comment. Leave us something. Let us know that you enjoyed it, you hated it, you could care less. I'll take anything, man. Any comment, any suggestion, anything you have. I would definitely appreciate that. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Check out the YouTube channel, Wrestle Radio 860 on YouTube. WRESTLERADIO 860 on YouTube. Twitch is Regalwood 6969. Facebook, of course, Ricky Regal. And Rumble and Kick are Regalwood, respectively. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. I know there's a couple of you commented. I appreciate that. If you watch this in the future, I appreciate you. From past Regal to future you. Appreciate it. We'll do episode 2 next week. It'll probably be either Monday, Tuesday. I cannot give a specific schedule. You'll know it about a day ahead of time when I'm going to put one up, just because of scheduling on my real life, right? But probably do Monday, Tuesday next week, and we'll see. But thank you again for so much for joining. Thank you again to Thomas Simpson for joining me. Again, no in between with that guy. Either you love him or you hate him. And I appreciate him coming in and spending a couple of minutes with me today to reminisce and kind of, be opinionated, as we can always count on him to do. There'll be future guests, and we'll figure this thing out as we go, but guess what? We'll do it together. That's enough for me today. I appreciate you again, and thank you so much for those of you that popped in and those of you that will pop in. Appreciate it again, and I will see you down the road.